Heyo! And what's up, gang? Thank you once again for tuning back into the channel tonight. WWE Smackdown Live presented Money in the Bank. And boy, do we have some stuff to talk about. So let's not waste any time and let's talk about it right here and right now on the one and only Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Do it. Do it.
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
Alright, gang, let's get this underway. And no, this is not breaking news. This is the Money in the Bank review, results, and rant. I guess we're going to rant about a few things here. Let's not get started off on the wrong foot. My name is Nick Nightmare. Welcome to the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, right here on Sledgehammer TV, only available on YouTube.com. Let's get right into it. Money in the Bank, before we really get into the problems with it, I'm going to go on record right now, and there needs to be a hell of a lot of props and definite praise to be given to the competitors in both Money in the Bank matches tonight. Everybody that stepped between those ropes tonight put forth one hell of an effort in order to entertain us, and I commend them on doing so, especially the women. They did an absolutely fantastic job in that match, which is going to bring us to the first big fuck up of the night. Now, I'm not one to gloat when I say I told you so, but I'm going to turn around and tell you guys I told you so, because on the Money in the Bank preview and predictions that we put up this weekend, I jokingly said if they wanted to really screw things up, they can have Ellsworth get involved in this match and have him cause Carmella to win, which is exactly what ended up happening tonight. In retrospect, I wish I didn't even think about it, because watching it just made me sick to my stomach. Now let's delve into this just a little bit. Let's dive in and let's be open-minded. And my only thing I ask of you is to let me get to the end before you start getting on my case and hitting me up about what I may or may not be saying if you don't like what I have to say, or one particular section of what I'm about to say as it pertains to this first ever women's match. And it is important to understand that we are watching a television show, that we are watching wrestling. Now, let's get into the analyzation of this finish. By having him ascend the ladder and retrieve the briefcase for Carmella, it is within the rules of the match that something like that can happen. Now, I know it is stated that the competitor must climb the ladder and retrieve the briefcase, but in the end, it doesn't matter who climbs the ladder. It matters who ends up in sole possession of the briefcase. That is the bottom line in a Money in the Bank match. If an outsider or a manager or a referee, for whatever reason, climbed the ladder and unhooked it, the first person to hold it within their grasp would win the Money in the Bank. So, in essence, it makes sense. However, this was not the time for this type of bullshit shenanigans to go down. We are holding the first ever women's Money in the Bank match, and what should have been the most important thing would be, in this inaugural event, to have a clean finish, to establish a superstar, and make this really meaningful. But instead, you chose to take the low road and go the controversy route. There was no need for controversy here. You have three second-generation females in this match. You have the first woman drafted to SmackDown Live, who is also the first SmackDown Live Women's Champion, who is more than deserving to also call herself the first Miss Money in the Bank. And then you have Carmella, who shouldn't even, by all rights and passages, be in this match. And that's not a knock on Carmella. She's just still very green. She has not gotten over with the crowd, with Ellsworth as her little lackey, and it just hasn't translated. It's not making sense to me why they would choose this route over taking one of the women that they should be making the cornerstones of this division. Naomi's got her position on lock. She's killing it and she's doing a fantastic job, and we will get into that a little bit later on. But in this scenario, you have Charlotte Flair, who is a beacon of light in the women's division. Her promo skills we go off on here and there, but her athleticism is unbelievable. The spots that she pulled off in this match, the twisted bliss off the top rope to the outside towards the end of the match that took out both Tamina and Natalya, fucking beautiful. How a woman her size and stature can throw her body around and maintain control the way she does, it's absolutely mind-blowing. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you have Natalya, who was doing her very best to get this match as over as possible. She was fantastic. Tamina as well. They were throwing haymakers. They were hitting each other hard. They were not taking for granted the fact that they were in the Money in the Bank match, and they were going to make us believe that they wanted to be in this match and that they wanted to get that briefcase. And I absolutely believed, because the match quality was fantastic. I am so proud of the effort and the ability that was showcased by these women, Carmella included, actually. She didn't have many spots, but the few spots she did have, she showcased good timing and athleticism. There was very minimal botching in this match, not a lot to complain about when you're talking about the essence of the match or the quality of the match or the moves or anything that the girls attempted in this match. Everything was fantastic. I was fully invested in this match. And then the end happened. And it makes my blood boil on one end, even though I understand the wrestling angle and where they're going with it, and that they're probably going to build off of it, but it boils my blood, because all I wanted to see was which girl was going to climb the ladder, man. And you stole that. You stole that moment away. There were plenty of moments where the girls were up on the ladder, fighting atop the ladder, throwing each other off the top of the ladder, all the essential moves and spots you would see in any Money in the Bank match throughout history. It was done by these girls fantastically. And you took what could have been a momentous occasion and a turning point for one of these second generation stars who are pretty much like just bubbling underneath the bubble. Charlotte's above the bubble. I mean, she's Charlotte Flair. But Natalya and Tamina are just waiting to burst. And Tamina, to me, you will know if you listen to the show, was my favorite. I wanted her to win this match and then just be lurking in the shadows, tormenting whoever the champion is, day in and day out. I'm coming for you. You don't know when, you don't know why. That's the way you got to play this angle. But now you gave it to Carmella and this goofball Ellsworth. And I said it, man. I said he's got to pay off somehow, and this is a way to make him pay off for her, because why does she have him anyway? Why has she been dragging along this turtle-faced idiot that has no business being even near her? Is he part of the women's division now? And then let's throw that all under the rug now, all right? And let's talk about what Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan had to say on Twitter, saying that this was unacceptable and that the fans were ripped off, and they are going to address this on Tuesday's SmackDown Live. So then what was the point? What are they going to do? Extend the match? Are they going to restart the match on SmackDown Live? Or are they going to have a Money in the Bank rematch on SmackDown Live? Because there's no SmackDown pay-per-view. We got Great Balls of Fire coming up. We don't know what's next for SmackDown Live just yet. So are they going to do that in order to garnish your ratings, being that maybe Money in the Bank did well, and that the hype and everything generating towards this woman's match seemed to be working very well, and then you blew it with the Ellsworth thing? It just, if you're going to turn around now and say that what happened at the Money in the Bank didn't count or didn't matter, and we have to restart it or determine the Money in the Bank woman's briefcase holder in another way, it takes away from the whole event. And with, like I said, the effort they put forth to take away from that match even further in any way this Tuesday would just be even more of a travesty. I don't understand the choice to go with the controversy over creating legitimate sports-related history. It just makes no fucking sense. The outrage on Twitter and all of social media also does not make sense to me. Everybody needs to calm down. I understand the feminist point of view that, you know, oh, they had to have a man take it down. But you have to understand that this man is a goofball. He's a fucking jerk-off who's been trailing around this broad, who is the boss in this scenario. There is no way that you can tell me that James Ellsworth came off looking like some sort of an alpha male in any way. He didn't do it to save her or any of these chivalrous reasons. He did it because he's trying to get with her. Alright? And he's going to do anything she says. That's the character we're getting from James Ellsworth. We're getting that pathetic nerd who's got the hot girl who's just stringing him along, and he'll do anything she says. Now, granted, she didn't tell him to climb the ladder and get it, but he's going to do anything he can to make sure that his girl gets that briefcase. And this was the case in point. That does not make it right, but it does not make it a reason for people to start, like, essentially just hammering the WWE with hate and bigotry and all this kind of shit, the sexist related stuff. And I know it's a sensitive topic, and that's why I asked you guys, let me get to the end of this before anybody starts to rip at me or whatever, because I'm coming at you from all sides. I understand every side of the debate. That doesn't make any side right or wrong. It's just what we have to live with now, everybody. This happened, okay? We have to just accept it and go. There's nowhere else to go except to Tuesday and find out what the fuck is going to happen in the end with this whole thing. I'm not happy about it. Let's get that straight. Even though I did call it, I wish they wouldn't have gone that way. And unfortunately, Carmella is, as of this minute, the woman's first ever woman's Money in the Bank briefcase holder. Ms. Money in the Bank, the Princess of Staten Island. And it couldn't make me more angry. So now that they put me in this mode, they give me the Usos versus the New Day. And I'm going to be honest with you. And if this gets me hate from anybody who didn't enjoy the show, then that's fine. I don't care, man. For some reason, I was not invested in this match, but I became invested in this match. These guys as well put on a hell of a match. They really went out there, and I mean, for a tag match from SmackDown, as for recent memory, it's probably been one of the better matches I've seen from any tag team division. The Usos, of course, work in the knee of the New Day, and then they do some classic style booking. I didn't mind the way this match finished because the champions, who are the bad guys in the scenario, obviously knew that the New Day were just a little too much for them to handle tonight, so they decided to tuck tail and run with their titles on their shoulders, and that's what a good heel does. And you extend the feud, you give it some life, and we continue the story on Tuesday. And we lead this up to the grand crowning of the New Day at some point, and you just allow this feud to grow. I will not be angry if you put the Fashion Police in this mix, I think it would be even better. The Fashion Police, no matter what they do, are golden. The segment tonight that they had, Fashion Vice, absolutely fantastic. Fandango on the phone, the big old school 80s phone that said property of Paul E. I didn't laugh so hard throughout the rest of the night. It was, everything they do is fucking fantastic. And what was the point of this segment? It was, they received a video from some anonymous team that said they were going to reveal themselves as the people that have been committing these heinous crimes all over Smackdown Live, or whatever the story may be. We're going to burn through that real quickly. It ended up being the Ascension. They came out. Fashion Police get a win over a team that should be killing everybody, because the Ascension were fucking awesome, and now they're just bottom-feeding bantha fucking fodder, and I hate it, because I had high hopes for them, only to see them be floundered away and just put to nothing. Taking losses to a hodgepodge team put together at the last minute that ended up sparking some sort of a movement and giving us some of the best stuff you will see on Smackdown Live. Excuse me while I take a nice little sip of Rooski and clear my throat, because the anger is creating a frog, and we don't want that frog to come croaking out and make me look like I'm choking to death. So, let's move on. What the fuck else happened at this show? Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton. Did you care? I didn't care. I didn't care one bit. I actually dozed off. Hand to God. Swear on my life. I fell asleep during this match. I missed the interference of the Singh brothers. I missed them being ejected from ringside. I only know of it thanks to a little bit of Talking Smack that I seen. And I don't care. Everybody knew as soon as they announced all the legends that they were going to be involved in the finish somehow, and that was going to be how Randy Orton would end up losing in his hometown, because that's what we do, except if you're Rich Swann, recently anyway. Is anybody surprised? Jinder Mahal still got the title. He's probably going to lose it to Cena. If he doesn't lose it to Cena, it'll be interesting to see where they go with it, considering what happened with Money in the Bank. Before we get started on the main event Money in the Bank ladder match, we have to talk about the Women's Championship match, which was Naomi versus Lana. Now this, I was not interested in at all. I thought this was going to be some type of a quick throwaway sort of match, but it was not. And I will have to be honest again and say that Lana impressed me. She did much more than I expected. She put on a great match. Well, you know what, let's tone it down a notch. Let's not say great. She put on a very good first match, debuting on pay-per-view, and I can't complain about it. She worked over Naomi's legs, which seemed to be the theme of the night, and unfortunately this match too would have a controversial finish, even though it would be in the champion's favor, and Carmella would almost complete my prediction to a T, to a fucking T, and almost came out and cashed in night of by interjecting herself into the women's match, but deciding at the last minute not to. At the end of the day, Naomi is still our women's champion. She did put up with a hell of a challenge from Lana, and I expect to see more from her, and probably big things from her if all goes as planned, regardless of how revealing her outfit was, or if you like her music or not. Lana is going to be something way better than we were going to get with All Red Nothing or anything else they had planned in the interim up until now. We have Lana. It's going to be the Ravishing Russian, and she's going to be pretty damn good. Now, let's finish this thing off talking about Money in the Bank. I fell victim to Money in the Bank, the main event, because I, like probably many of you, forgot that we were watching a show, and when Baron Corbin, during the entrance took out Shinsuke Nakamura, I was immediately deflated when they brought him to the back. And I was like, you know, been so pissed off with the way they've been using him, because they just keep having him on SmackDown and putting him in matches and having him come out and playing the music and taking the mystique away from the whole Shinsuke thing. And now that I'm finally tuned in and ready to see him, you're not going to have him in the match. And I watched this match with almost a heavy heart, just half excited. The guys definitely did their best to pull me back in. Sami Zayn had a fantastic showing, especially against his one rival, Kevin Owens. They went at it with each other. Very, very entertaining stuff. Sami Zayn at one point hitting a flipping powerbomb off the top of one of the tallest ladders in the match on Dolph Ziggler. It looked absolutely ghastly. I thought somebody was dead. It was unbelievable. A lot of those type of spots that we've become accustomed to seeing in a Money in the Bank match. AJ Styles hitting Kevin Owens with a Death Valley driver off the ring apron onto a ladder that was set up from the ring announcer's desk to the ring. All of the best stuff you could possibly see. Only to have Baron Corbin set up a ladder and begin his ascension to win the Money in the Bank be thwarted by a returning Shinsuke. And I felt a little stupid that I didn't know that I fell victim, like I said, and I didn't assume this was going to happen. I just got caught up in the moment and was mad that Shinsuke wasn't in the match. And I was as excited as everybody else in the Scott Trade Center, because that place blew up. Blew up. The same way I blew up on my couch. Shinsuke came back, and the rest of the match did not disappoint at all. His confrontation with AJ Styles towards the end of this match made every minute of it and every single moment of the night that I sat through absolutely worth it. I cannot wait to see the program between these two guys develop and come to fruition in the future. If the WWE did not look in that ring and listen to that crowd and see what kind of magic they have with these two as opponents, both of them in a babyface role, neither one of them suffered in any way from that. You had a 100% down the middle split crowd, as you would expect, and AJ and Shinsuke tore it up for the good part of 5 to 7 minutes, uninterrupted by anybody else, because everybody was just incapacitated on the outside. And they would get to the point where they would both be fighting atop the ladder once again, and Baron Corbin would push them off, allowing himself just enough time to shoot his ass up the ladder, and very awkwardly, and took quite a long time to do so, but he unclamped the Money in the Bank, and Baron Corbin is our Money in the Bank ladder match winner. Now, I'm not hating on that either. I said on the preview show that I did that Baron Corbin, AJ Styles, Sami Zayn, these are acceptable winners to this match, because these are the guys that can use the push. They deserve the push, and they can handle the push, and they will be able to bring the element of surprise. It was a good match. It definitely feels better than it was thanks to AJ and Shinsuke. I'll have to go back and rewatch it all over again, as I tend to do, just to really absorb it a second time and see if any of my opinions change, but I'm pretty sure that's not going to be the case. We are not looking forward to Monday Night Raw tomorrow night. We are now slightly looking forward to Tuesday to see what the hell they're going to do with the Women's Money in the Bank match, and just what exactly is going to go down between Baron Corbin and Jinder Mahal, possibly, because if you watched a little bit of Talking Smack, you saw quite an interesting interaction between the two, and it's actually got my interest piqued, because I would much rather see Jinder Mahal versus Baron Corbin than Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton, or even versus John Cena for that matter. Because the only reason for him to fight Cena would be to serve him up on a silver platter and give Cena the belt back for some unknown reason. But let's hope that that is not our future. And that is going to be it. That's going to be our Money in the Bank 2017 review. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave a comment below and like, share, and subscribe if you have not done so already. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button and share this video with all your friends that like wrestling. Let the world know that we're doing great things here at Sledgehammer TV, and Nick Nightmare has got you covered with all the latest breaking news and rumors and reviews that you can get in the world of professional wrestling. And if you missed anything this week, go back and check it out. There was a lot of great stuff this week. I am Nick Nightmare. This is Blue the Snowball Microphone. Thank you so much. Money in the Bank was a disappointing night as far as the winners and the losers and some of the finishes, but the ring quality of the matches outweighed the crappy quality of the stories they're trying to tell. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you again next time, because I am out of here on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.